What is going on, everybody? I would say I hope you're doing well, but we kind of know the state of what is going well, what is not going well at the moment in game. I'm left with this question like, what the hell? What's going on? Like, with MCOC? But like, what is actually going on? Because we've got this new update that's just gone live, and it's already cost me units, revives, health potions, whatever, because of things just not loading in. I mean, this was great because it's actually loaded in, but the game is becoming slightly unplayable. I don't know if it's going to do that. I luckily did a recording of this. Luckily as well, like that, just my serpent's at full health. Because I went into this fight, now is this going to work? It might do, it might not. But a moment ago, it did not, right? And I'm hoping that Kabam have actually fixed this, because losing revives and health potions, and what was units now, because I've gone under 8,000 units, because when I went into this fight, it was just like constantly, well, messing up. It's just not great. It's not great to have this same thing update per update. You can see that's it there, right? This is not my screen, not my, sorry, it is my screen. This is my screen. And like you see, it's like it was just messed up. Like it's fluttering there. Like that is not good. It's really, really not good. And should you update? No, I don't know if you should update or not. I just feel like what is going on with Kabam? This is like month in, month out, same thing again. I don't know if it definitely seems to be like some people say it's like iPad flickering, not loading. And I'm worried going into content, because I went into content, I then came out, I rebooted my device, and when I came back into it again, I had zero, like my health, my champions were KO'd. And then again, I have to like spend units to kind of like get them back up again, or the revive for free. Then it's like the health potions, and again, same process stuff. And it's like, why are we just here like all the time with this? It's weird. It is weird. After like yesterday's video where we talked about what was good and what was bad about the live stream, there's a lot of just the fundamentals of the game. I want to say great. There's new content. I am excited for some of the new content. I've planned out my week of videos that I'm going to be making before I take a little bit of a holiday next week. And I thought, okay, what's cool? We'll do this on this. We'll kind of do this guide and the process of getting this. And I started getting myself really excited for the Daredevil event, the International Women's Day events and stuff like that. Then I'm playing Epoch of Pain, and the AI is just awful. And you're kind of like at this point where you keep flipping between what's bad and what's really like good about the game. You kind of do this all the time. It's never like this kind of constant of like, oh, you know, it's just going on as normal. This is cool. This is chill. This is great. It's good content that's being put out. And then it's just all of a sudden you're just hit by the same stuff where you just question, why are we playing this game in the quality it is? And then you kind of like read as well from a perspective of why people are kind of in. And by the way, if people say like, oh, these people here say like, oh, I'm quitting, like it's a case of like, what has brought them to that particular point in time? Not about going like, oh, they just go then. It's like, no, I'm even questioning it. Like before, I may have been like, well, if you don't want to stay, then there's probably games that are going to be less stressful and annoying for you, and maybe well, it could be rewarded better for your, like, you know, your general grind of the game. But that there were a lot of things from that live stream that didn't really like sit well with people, and I took a bit of a time away from the weekend, which was good. On Sunday I went back into Epoch of Pain, and as I said, the AI is still not being like, what's happening with it? Are we going to find out anything about it? I really hope we do, because I think it's just for the betterment of the game. There's a lot of work that Kabam need to do, and it just feels like month in, month out, we just either don't feel like we're getting anywhere, or it's like, hey, here's some new endgame piece of content, but when we address the other stuff like rewarding and general gameplay stuff, quality of life, AI, whatever it is, it's always at the latter point of the year, and then you're just left for a good chunk of the year going, well, should I take a break from the game for about 6 months and then come back in June when things might have been developed a bit further or improved or whatever? it's tough. It is it is very tough, and when you come back into the game and go after the update, I can barely play the game. It just keeps flashing on the loading stage, and I have to reset my game, and it does this every match or sometimes back to back. I try to put it anyway. So yeah, iPad issue, but I don't know if it's everywhere. It's not the deathless selector, and for the people that aren't experiencing stuff like this at the moment, like it's just there's just something really bad. And the other thing, scrolling through friends and contacts is also not fixed, but this is when it's just Borderlands. I need to watch that, by the way. That's free, I think, at the moment on Prime. It is borderline unplayable at times, and there's just things that just don't seem to be fixed. I can't say if Kabam are doing a good job or bad job. I don't work for Kabam, right? There's going to be someone in Kabam that will probably say we're doing the best we can. Most places nowadays, or most companies, are being kind of like stretched. In theory, there are some that are kind of adequately staffed. And a good example would be Marvel Rivals. They were so stacked with people that they decided to let go of their, was it Seattle-based team? So, but then they've got plenty in other places, probably China or where else where NetEase are kind of based, that they can cover those things. Because Kabam aren't making the same type of money as they did a long time ago, and because Netmarble are looking for their return, if anybody wants to know a comparison, and I'm sure people don't like the comparison I'm going to say is, when the Glazers took over Manchester United, they bought the club on debt, and since then they've been taking secretive yearly dividends out of the club. Therefore, when you do that, assuming the Glazers are exactly like Netmarble, they are then meaning that nothing can then go into the club because it's always paying off a debt. And I'm not saying Kabam is on debt, it's just when you look at it from a perspective of Netmarble don't buy a company like Kabam and go, we don't fancy a return on our money. Not at all. Said no business ever. And at this point, it's like, there needs to be more members of staff. There needs to be more people in the engineering team. There needs to be more people in the different process of things. Maybe they need to look at their how they're building month in, month out. Because when you look at it from a perspective of, there's a lot to do with this mobile game. There's a lot of moving pieces. It does earn a lot of money still, but why isn't it being kind of like well invested back into at least not have these bugs appear quite as much, number one, and number two, allow the game to be innovated, add quality of life improvements, new modes, new opportunities, to have enjoyment from the player base from a small investment of time, the casual players, a mid level of time, 2 to 3 hours a day maybe, and the high end grinders of like 5+ hours a day. Yeah, there's just a lot of questions as to like what's going on at the moment, and just the overall performance of the game. It's a lot arena each month, isn't it? Will the game be running at optimum level? Will there be a bug of any kind of description? Will it be fixed? And how many times repeatedly do the player base need to be compensated for issues, bugs, and problems that goes on? Yeah, it's like an epileptic kind of like fit with this bug in general. So I don't know. I really don't know. Yeah, there's bugs. And of course, like, there's loads of little other bugs as well that are not being kind of like fixed. Like obviously the always constantly one that appears in the store. The friends like social bug kind of like already, messing up. Yeah, I really don't know. Like I was really kind of looking forward to starting some really kind of cool ideas for content, and that would be to kind of like get ready for some of the best Saga champions coming up. I was thinking about a video for tomorrow. Honestly, it just kills my vibe. It really does to kind of like see the game like this. And especially with Epoch of Pain, where there's still the same things. Like the AI is just terrible trying to play through there on the paths. Like things that just were, when the individual fights came out and there was AI-based trash with that, it was like, oh, okay, fine. Well, one and done it. Okay, we've got to do the gauntlet for second time. And our third time is like Epoch of Pain. So I've got to play the same wonky AI 3 times in a row. Example of this, Rich? Well, Toad. Like, if Toad is doing that same thing, like he's throwing special attacks, or not throwing special attacks, or you try and bait for the special attack, and you've got to plan your inverted controls or the routing unblockable, like trying to control all that, and at the same time of like how things are rotating with your power going, it's just not enjoyable. It's really not enjoyable. I hope, I always have to hope with Kabam that they can get to a point of delivering the game. Feels like feels like we're in like a constant alpha with the game. For the last 10 years, it's been in alpha before going into beta, and it doesn't like anyway, like constant beta, whatever you want to like describe it as. There's just things that have. We just want stability. That's it. Stability around fighting in game, how a defender operates, and stuff like that. Anyway. What is your thoughts on the bugs as a whole even, I can't speak, and on the whole, I'm turning into that, what is it, Austin Powers kind of meme thing. Anyway, thanks for watching. Thoughts in the comments. Man, see you later. Bye.